Man you're about to meet burst on the scene in 1961, and at the age of 23, he defected to the West during, I guess, one of the most publicized events in the history of the arts, when he left the Kirov Ballet in Paris. And since then, he's been electrifying audiences all over the world. He's danced often in this country with Dame Margot Fonteyn and the Royal Ballet. His appearance tonight is his first American television interview. He's a bit worried about it. It's a profound honor to be his host. People, when they write about him, really write about him. An article that says that when he first appeared, he was the most disturbing element the ballet had known in 40 years. Even Nijinsky not even Nijinsky, wreaked such emotional havoc as Nureyev. No dancer in our time has so widely entranced or deeply affected so many of us. He is considered by many people to be the greatest ballet dancer in the world. That's good enough for me. Rudolf Nureyev. That's more than Elliot Richardson got the other day at the... Very nice to see you. Доброе утро.
Добрый вечер. No, that's right.
Is that right? Доброе утро?
It is morning already in London.
Yes. I should... Whatever you think I said is fine. He just got off a plane. Or are you off the plane yet?
Yes, just directly.
Yeah. Well, nice to see you. And can you remember the first moment you wanted to be a dancer?
Yeah,
What was it?
That was a long time ago.
How long? It might not be as long as people think.
It was like 29 years ago.
Yeah.
When I was about 6 years old.
But you didn't start to study till you were 17.
That's true. I went to Kirov school when I was 17.
Isn't that kind of late, really, to start?
Yes.
There's a theory, isn't there, that the legs have already developed in the wrong way by the time you're 17?
Yeah. And that's the battle, constant battle. With one's body.
So if you'd started earlier, you might be really good.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I was trying to think if anyone just tuned in, that's Nureyev, I'm Cavett. We're about the same size, that's about it. You came from a very poor family, I gather from reading about you.
That's right.
How poor?
Well,
I mean, do you remember?
Of course I remember. Don't forget it was a time of war.
World War II?
Yes, and we used to live in Moscow, and then we had to evacuate into central Russia. And, well, it was not pleasant.
Can you remember being scared of the war going on around you? Yeah. You remember the sounds?
No, not, because though our house was bombed, we sort of cleared very quickly.
We
cleared very quickly.
Cleared.
Yes.
Yeah. When you came first to the West, you didn't speak any English or much English?
Well, I did study for 6 months, about privately.
Yeah. Do you mind my mentioning that you have a scar?
Yes.
You do mind?
No, but there's a scar.
They're all wondering where it is. He shaved in my dressing room, and I know where it is. You have a scar right there. Is that from during the wartime or childhood?
No, it was much later. A dog bite.
A dog?
A dog.
Came up on stage and...
It was no stage then. It was kind of... I gave my ratio, when they give you sort of 300 grams a day or something.
Oh, ratio.
And I gave it to the dog, and so I thought, well, dog ate it, and I thought, well, dog, now I have to be grateful. I embraced the dog, and he turned and bit me.
And that's the thanks you got.
well, that's
This is not a...
that wasn't last time.
You've since made friends with dogs, I guess.
Yes.
So, this is not a political question, and I'll spare you all that. But is there any sense in which you miss Russia? Do you know what I mean? The country itself. Russians always talk about the great love of the land and the mountains and the steppes of Russia and all.
Well, I didn't have any nostalgia. I haven't had yet. I think it's better come later to entertain me when I stop dancing.
When you stop dancing,
yes.
you might then...
Yes, well, I was very curious about how things are going here in a dance world, and I want to learn as much as possible.
But
and
you aren't...
still, I would like to. And, there's no time.
There's no homesickness for the land itself, aside from political considerations. That's interesting. Do you admire American ballet?
Yes, yes, there's a lot of, particularly choreographers here, flourish.
Like our own George Balanchine? And,
yes, but you have like Paul Taylor, Merce Cunningham, you have Elliot, well, you have Robbins, you have, I don't know, Tetley, you have a million.
The Joffrey Ballet?
Yes.
Do you ever go to see the
yes,
American?
obviously.
Yeah.
I go to see if I have chances.
Is this what we're doing now at all strange for you or difficult for you because of what you're used to doing on stage?
Well,
it doesn't seem to be bothering you.
Well, what can I do about it? I'm not here.
Just yell help at any time if you like. Do you remember? Sorry. It's me who has trouble in these things. Does one say, where you come from in the English-speaking world now, do you say ballet or ballet? I've been corrected twice today.
I wouldn't know.
Really?
A ballet?
Ballet,
A ballet?
not ballet. No. If I said to
help
you,
there.
I'm sorry?
I heard both ways,
Both ways,
for such
okay.
a long time.
Okay.
It didn't bother me.
You said something interesting earlier. You said, until you stop dancing. What would make you stop dancing?
Just the body wouldn't be able to struggle anymore
Yeah.
with the mind, so it will freak out.
Your body,
Apropos the ballet, I think it is Italian word.
did you say the body will freak out?
Yes, yeah.
Yes. You've been here too long.
Apropos the ballet, I think it is Italian word, isn't it? So
The word ballet, I would have thought it was French.
Balletti.
Balletti,
I think accent would be on the second.
Italiano. Is it correct to say Rudolf Hamietovich Nureyev?
Oh, yes.
That is your middle name,
That would be, yes, father's name.
father's name. Yeah. Mr. Nureyev, can a male dancer expect to have a longer career for any reason than a female dancer?
Well, I wouldn't think so.
No.
Somehow, a woman is not under such stress as a man. A man have to jump. I mean, he usually jumps more during his career, and also he lifts partners a lot.
He just does harder work.
That would be somehow it affects the body.
Would it be rare for a man to have as long a career as Margot Fonteyn is obviously having?
Oh, I think I don't believe it possible.
Yeah. What will you do when you can no longer dance?
Well, I will decide then. But I probably, I hope I'll gather some knowledge and to pass on, if I'm not too lazy by then.
What do you learn from seeing films of yourself dancing?
Well, how much you need to use scissors and editing, and you have to. It have to be very much doctored.
Uh-huh. If I said to you, I am a ballet dancer,
I would believe you. You look like one.
do I?
Yes.
I was a gymnast. However, if I said that and you doubted me,
Yes.
how could you instantly prove whether I am or not? You know what I mean? Could you suddenly say...
Well, of course, there is certain posture, the way of walking. Probably one can detect by behavior. But professionals would be.
If I tried to learn to dance now at my age,
Yeah.
would I be able to learn, say, the basic 5 positions?
Oh,
and all
that
of that?
you can learn them. Can you execute them? I don't know.
Yeah, there is. That's a very nice distinction. Do you mind my just checking something with you? I mean, the normal person, how far should he be able to do this, or is that?
Well, that's enough. That's
That's
good
enough?
Yes.
How do I get out of this now? It hurts all the way up here. I suppose it would take quite a while to not have that happen. I fell in love with Plisetskaya when she was here, with the Bolshoi some years back. It only lasted a month or so, and I never met her. What is she like?
Well, as a person, I met her not that often,
Yeah.
but she strikes me like a very beautiful woman and very, very beautiful dancer.
Glad to hear that. Can you imagine yourself living in Imperial Russia, in the old Russia? Is it possible that with all the great opulence of Imperial Russia, you would have had a different, what would you think your fate would have been there?
It's kind of
Tough.
like writing
say.
with a fork on the water. But if I was a dancer, that probably wouldn't be too bad. Nothing to complain.
I wondered, yeah. Is it all clear in your mind why you defected, and
It was time to go.
was it frightening at that moment? I know you were being followed, or believed you were being followed by
Well, I had to
gendarme of
make
some sort.
a decision right on the spot.
Yeah.
There was only one way. That decision was really made for me by the situation and people who provoked that situation, and that I stayed.
Had you decided the night before, for example?
No,
or
no, no, no. It
just-
was right on the spot.
You thought you were being called back, I believe, didn't you?
I thought, well, that
Yeah.
red lights are flashing.
Did you feel followed for a time after that?
Well, of course, you probably have all kind of minus. It's not very easy thing to adjust. It took a long time, and I imagine for people who leave much later, those who left after, like 10 years after, I think they have much more difficult time to adjust to the Western ways.
What do you like to read?
Oh, but isn't that private, what I read?
Oh, yes. I noticed a yellow light there. Perhaps it's in the set somewhere. The number 17 has a special significance for you, I was told.
Nothing.
17?
17, no.
17.
No, no,
No?
no,
You're not superstitious.
no, not really. No, it's kind of a joke, I guess.
Can we take a look at the reason I said that, people will be wondering, is that I believe that was the date of the day you defected, and also someone worked out a thing where it also was the age you began studying ballet, and that number was very significant for you.
No, I don't believe in those things, no, not really.
Glad to hear that. Here's a scene. Let's take a look at this. Can we now? From Don Quixote. Sancho Panza has stolen a lobster in this scene. Is
there
that
was no fish, and they didn't provide fish, so we have to do with lobsters. Kind of a rather improbable thing.
I wondered about
We
that.
had to invent things right on the spot.
And he runs to Don Quixote for protection. Is that enough to know about it, to take a look at it?
Yeah, well, it is kind of a pattern of Petit Pas, I believe. All those mise-en-scènes been set by Petit Pas.
All right, let's roll that and take a look at it. Let's take a message from our local stations. We'll be right back. Your parents want you to be a dancer when you were a little kid?
No.
What did they say about it?
Well, when my father came from the war, my mother conveyed to him my wish to be a dancer. And, well, he tried. He took me to a local theater and was looking for a school, asked about school and how it is possible to send me to Leningrad. And they were kind of being rather rude, and he was upset. And since then, he was adamant against any kind of dancing.
How did you solve that?
Well, it was sort of, I ran away each time at night and went to take some lessons in folklore groups and dance with them.
Can you get in touch with? I'm sorry. Can you get in touch with your family, your relatives?
Yes, I can.
You can.
Yes, telephone
Right.
them.
Yeah.
Yes, speak on the phone.
Are there ballet groupies?
Probably they are.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Who just hang around the stage door and.
Well, they have
No.
ballet fans. I don't know what
Yeah.
you call them, groupies.
Yeah.
We call them ballet fans.
But that's probably better. Do you ever want to act?
Well, you can.
Act speaking, I mean.
Would be nice. I mean, it's kind of idle thought, no? If you can't speak properly, if you're not trained for acting, how can you just go and act? You know, shouldn't you learn profession properly? And
Yeah. I guess so.
not just a fantasy, a whim.
What kind of massage do you get? They told me that when you got off the
Oh, never mind.
when you got no, they said when you got off the plane you would instantly get a massage. The whole
Well, I
mystique
just
of
was
what
trying
ballet-
to be ready for your talk because to fly, to be on a plane for 8 hours and wait at the airport
Yeah.
1 hour and a half, and you know,
It's very
it's
difficult.
not
I don't know-
exactly
I don't know how you do
ideal
it.
situation.
Yeah. What's the injury that a dancer fears the most?
Well, there's so many injuries. There is a knee injury.
Would knee be the worst,
ankles.
like it is with a basketball player or something?
I wouldn't know. Well, in knee, yes, that would be the sharpest pain. Probably would come from knee.
Have you been lucky that way?
No, I just endured my pains and carried on with them. Many dancers go and do operations, and I think it's rather unwise.
Well, I want to thank you for being here. It's a great pleasure. And it was a pleasure to meet you. And please come back, and I'll dance for you.
Okay.
Thank you. See you again. Bye-bye.